I messed up. So if you don't know, a couple days ago, I started a video series where I go over every single season of Ninjago, and as soon as I finish talking about the season, because we're going in order from least to best, I tell you where they're ranked. And it's kind of obvious because we're going in order from least to best. So what I did last time is I made a mistake. I wasn't thinking through, I just wanted to get the video out, and I was like, you know what, which season am I going to put in last? Because I was making my order, and I completely forgot a season that I'm probably going to put below the last one, which if you weren't watching that, go watch that video before you watch one, because there was a lot of good stuff said about Rebooted, because that was the one I put in last place, but I forgot that something else existed out there. I know, right? I'm stupid. I forgot that there's something just a little worse than Rebooted, because of one specific reason. So I forgot the island existed. Yeah, I'm stupid. Oh no, okay, I like, stop looking at me, okay? Jeez. And of course, under no circumstances am I putting the island above Rebooted, which is still a great season, and I didn't really talk about in the last episode all the good aspects. I just wanted to explain, because I felt like a lot of people were going to have sensitive feelings to me putting it in last place. I just wanted to explain why it was in last place, and I didn't really cover all the good aspects of it, and there's a lot of good stuff in there, and the action isn't that bad. There's a lot of cool shots, especially when they're first using their techno blades, especially like when Kai hacks that jet. There's a lot of cool stuff. And I'm just saying that because poor quality. The action isn't that great. It's just something I had to mention. There's a lot of cool shots. I don't know. It was the reboot of Ninjago. It felt fresh. It was a good season. And further down the line, you'll start to understand more and more that I like the fresh feel that a lot of Ninjago seasons have. So, for example, Prime Empire felt fresh. You're in a completely new setting and you know nothing, right? So you're going to see a lot of that later down the line. I like fresh things, but Rebooted, nah, I don't know. But we are going to place the island just below Rebooted because it's so short, is my explanation for that. It is an incredibly short season, but there's a lot of good stuff in that. The opening episode was pretty great. It's just a fast-paced introduction to what's going on with the ninja, and I loved Clutch Powers was in there a little bit. I did actually see the original Clutch Powers movie before they introduced Clutch Powers in Ninjago, which was really cool. I was like, oh, it's Clutch Powers. Now, I didn't know much about him. I just saw the movie. I found it at the local library, and I was like, oh, that looks kind of interesting, because I was getting more into a bunch of Lego media after getting really, really into Ninjago, after watching, like, the pilots and all that. So, yeah, I don't know. But there is a lot to say in this video, so stay tuned. Let's go check it out. So the island is essentially an introduction to Skybound, and it helped LEGO market a couple more LEGO sets, and the LEGO sets were actually really great. I've heard a lot of bad things, I've heard a lot of good things. There's some mixed stuff in there, but I actually really love the idea of, like, the boats. They all look really cool. But that's besides the point. This is a season, and we are going to have to talk about it and talk about the good things versus the bad things. And to me, this kind of felt like a filler kind of thing, right? I think we've already kind of touched on that a little bit. As I said, it was an introduction to Seabound, which was not a filler season whatsoever. But the island was definitely more of a little soft filler season. It had some necessary things, and it introduced the Islanders. And there's a lot of mystery. It kind of felt like, I don't know, it felt new, kind of cool and fresh. And I already talked about that earlier, that I love, like, fresh, new ideas that Ninjago comes up with. It makes everything feel, like, good, you know, like, and not like you're repeating and making repetition over and over and over and over. But yeah, so I like the island, you know, like, I really like it. I think it's a solid introduction to Seabound for what it is. But when you're comparing it to the rest of the seasons, it has to go in last place, because like I said, it's an introduction to Seabound. I have to stop saying that, because I'll say that throughout this whole video. And it's also just to help LEGO make a couple bucks with their sets, right? But the suits, like, there's so much to love about the sets, first of all. And so I'm really happy they did the island. And I like it. Like, I think the introduction was really nice. You know, it felt well-paced for the limited amount of time that it had. I liked the first episode. I think Ninjago is really great with first episodes. Like, there's some really great episodes that are all first episodes. Like, let's go back to Skybound, which I hate, just for reference, but that's going to be pretty low too. We'll probably get to that one soon, but yeah, just for reference, I do hate Skybound. But in Skybound, there's the first episode called Infamous, and that one was actually really great. I think Ninjago is really great at doing first episodes, and I think this is no exception. Now, if we want to talk a little further into this, though, we can talk about the last 3 episodes, which are also really good. But, I don't know, I need to stop talking about the first episode. I just think it's really nice, and, yeah, if you've seen it, you know Ronan is the villain, is another thing we need to talk about, is the villain. And that's why I said it was filler, because he's not really a villain, but, yeah, I don't know, there's a lot of stuff in there to where you're just like, what? Like, where is this coming from? I liked the whole Jira thing. I mean, it was kind of obvious it was going to be fake, and I don't know, it was good for what it was, is what the island was, but comparing it to other seasons, it's not that great, you know, like, it's really, really not that great, but I don't know, overall, this is really, really solid. I love the island. Just like I said, comparing it, it's not that great. I do love the suits, I love the sets, I love the concept, and the Island Keeper minifigure. That guy looks really great. But we are just talking about the show, just for reference, in this little series. We are just talking about the show, but I probably will a lot mention the minifigures and the sets, because if they're not good, that is, like, it's besides the point if the show is really good. It's gonna nail down a lot of points, and that's why Rebooted is also really low, coming in right after the island. So, overall, the island is great. If you have not seen this, go watch it. I consider it a season, that's why we're including it, and since I decided to include it, I made that decision a little after I released the first episode. That is my bad, guys. There will be no more. If I make any more mistakes, I'll just deal with them. This is gonna be my ranking for a while, until I just do a solo ranking video, or maybe just a tier list would be kind of fun. I like tier list rankings. Those are really cool. If you guys want to see that, please let me know in the comments. And if you like this one, please like and subscribe to the video, because this is going to pretty much wrap it up for today. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you guys in our next Ninjago episode.